Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're wondering why it's already out of the box, I filmed the intro. However, I'm not happy with it, so I'm filming it again. But I already took it out. So... I mean, the box is the same as the Myosaurs, which we already looked at. The only difference is that it's a Utahraptor instead of a Myosaur, and Myosaur takes the place. Although, a notable thing is that someone found a box that said Baryonyx instead of Utahraptor. I'll put it up. And, yeah, let's just take a look at this thing. And then at the end, we can, compare it to Kenner's through, images and videos and all that. Because I don't have any Kenner figures. Yay! And here it is out of the box. I'm just going to get the obvious out of the way. Sculpt, beautiful as always. Although I do have one tiny issue. It's not a deal breaker, but the feathers stop at the wrist when they should continue down the middle finger. Or is it the top? I'm pretty sure it's the middle finger. Other than that, yeah, I think Mattel did a pretty good job feathering this guy. As always, paint job a little lackluster. Here's how I think they should always do it. This is the 2018 Allosaur, so that's like a 7-year gap. And this one has paint running all the way down the body, even on the legs. Yeah, it has it on the legs, but it just stops there. Now, granted, the way the patterning is applied is a bit different. This is on the top, whereas this is on the sides, so maybe that has to do with it. But look at that. Painted toenails. Why couldn't we get that here? And, okay, yeah, the claws on the hands aren't painted, which they aren't here, so that gets a pass, because they've never done that. But why the feet? Why stop? Also on this one, the tail looks to be a good length, a bit short, and the same goes for here, so, yeah. Although I do think the tail here should be a bit longer, right? Also, the tail width on that one is much better than here, which is scrawny as hell. This thing can't even stand unless it's, roaring upwards like that. Now, I do like the patterns on this guy. It's just that there's not a lot of them. Although I do prefer how they did it here over the Myosaur. Because on the Myosaur, it just stops. Whereas here, it's in stripes, so it kind of fizzles out. I do like how they've started using rubber for the claws and teeth. However, I think that should have been applied to the feet claws as well, because those do look a bit blunt. Speaking of the feet, mine came warped somehow. I don't know, although this is the side that faces outwards when it's in the box. So what I'm thinking is that someone dropped the box and then they warped it, saw they warped it, and then just put it back and grabbed another one. So, other side is practically the same. Oh yeah, this part here is also rubber. Now, this thing is part of the Wild Raw assortment, which basically means it makes sounds, although it kind of only makes one. They all sort of, sound the same-ish to me. There's, 4 or 5, I think, but they all sound the same here. So, yeah, also not too sure where they got these sounds from, because I don't think those are from Evolution, so maybe they made their own, or maybe those are just, stock sounds. In terms of articulation, you have the head, which you control with the tail, so it can go down. It can go down, up, and you can tilt it. Arms. Move back, forth. I think, yeah, you can get basically a full 360 because you can rotate it. Yeah. One downside to the rubber is that I think if you have this in a toy box and then something's weighing this down, that's probably gonna stay that way unless you put it in hot water or something. Legs, that's something I want to talk about. because for this guy, like, this is how I get him to stand, right? However, his legs kind of almost lock into place here. And of course, now you stand. Oh, it fell. But yeah, that's a problem I have, because... Okay, now, it falls, and to counteract that, they added the feature where you can move the things, although that still doesn't really help, I say, as it works. But I think this is due to two factors. One, these legs are loose as hell. They really only lock into one position, and even then... Yeah. And they also go outwards. And also, the scrawny tail, which isn't heavy enough to weigh down the rest of this, and because there's like electronics in here, that weighs the front half down, so then it falls. So the only way I can get it to stand is if I do that, which, I mean, that's kind of cool. However, on the newer figures, they lock in at several different locations. Like, shut up! Like that. And then... Okay. Next time we do an articulation segment, I'm taking the batteries out. And then you also have, for some reason, the tip of the tail, which can rotate, like, individually. Yeah, because that's natural. Okay, one thing I want to talk about before we get to the Kenner segment is the eyes. They're kind of bug-eyed. It makes them look kind of derpy. Although you can get a pretty sinister, kind of sinister smile. Bro, I think he might Jeff the kill me later. Trying to get it to focus on the teeth. Doesn't look like that's happening though. Now, all footage used is from this video, which I'll leave tagged in the bottom. Now, when comparing them, I mean, it's obviously from a face value that this one is better, right? I mean, where's a human figure? Hold on. There. Like, when compared to a human figure, the scale is much better, although in that video it wasn't compared to a Kenner figure, so maybe the scale works better there. I'm not too sure. Now, the Kenner one had a feature where you press a button and then the claws go out, like it attacks, like it's pouncing. Whereas this one is a lot less unique. Basically, every dinosaur has it, from the Wild Roar and Gigantic Trackers. Like I get it is like a bit different, but I mean, come on, that's basically the same action feature, even controlled the same way. Now, the Kenner one is made of rubber, like this, although and I know some people are going to be like, oh, that makes it better, it's like real feel, and I've never really cared for rubber. I think it's mainly because I grew up in the age where like everything is plastic now, but I would much prefer like a plastic toy than something that's a rubber and that would just warp over time, although you could fix it with hot water again. One thing I wish the Mattel figures did come with is capture gear, because it's basically pretty bland. Like, capture gear is like such a cool thing. Like, yeah, it doesn't really fit with the Rebirth's whole line, but you could make your own line. Make like they kind of did it with the Dino Tracker, but that was more like a gear to like track the dinos. And I believe there was a line with capture gear, because I remember the car had capture gear, but that's it. So I really hope that sometime between now and next movie we get more capture gear, because like that's really cool. You can have like a kid like, oh, I just captured the dinosaur. So just like I might make a video pointing out all my problems with the Mattel line, which is mainly just the fact that it's all dinosaurs. There's hardly any humans, any vehicles. There's not even any play sets. So I kind of just listed all my problems there. Anyways, I think that basically does it. For height, you're looking at around 13 centimeters. and 5 and a quarter, I think. I'm not too good with inches. Whatever that the closest big line is. And for length, you're looking at around 31 centimeters, or is that 1 foot? Huh. Yeah. For size comparisons, here it is with your standard attack pack figure, standard gigantic trackers figure. So these two are about like same price range. Here it is with the Schleich Utahraptor, so you could have this like be a juvenile. The Papo Allosaur, Schleich Ceratosaur, and Collecte Baryonyx. So all in all, would I recommend this figure? Yeah, I'd say it's worth it. And yeah, that's about it. I think in my last video I said I might do a birthday haul, but nah. Or if I do, it'll be like October, but probably not gonna do that. Anyways, yeah. Again, well, foot. You check for that. Check to make sure they're not all like that. Anyways, yeah, that's all about it. See ya. I was trying to do a salute, but it didn't really work.